Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Sonic 2006. Usually I'm not going to do the S-Rank videos post-commentated for Shadow like I did for Silver, because most of the time they are rather self-explanatory and you see most of the level in the normal run. Or maybe, for some of them, I even get the S-Rank immediately, you will see. But this one here is a bit special in my opinion. First of all, because there is always the same piece of metal sticking out of the glider, which is funny. But also because I feel like Kingdom Valley has some of the most stuff going on for it. Where we didn't even touch upon a lot of it during the normal run. And I feel like it is most interesting to talk about this level in post-commentary and talk about all the things I had to do for the S-Rank. Because it is absolutely not free in the slightest. You have to do a lot of things quite well here. However, they are not as precise and you don't have to find every single enemy pack like you did for some of the Silver S-Ranks. So it wasn't that hard. I did fuck it up a few times, but in general it's fine. First flub here you can see almost died because I didn't kill all of the enemies in front of the laser barrier quickly enough. I did see a speedrun of this level and you can in fact just tank through every single laser barrier and you just have enough health if you dodge everything else. Because the speedrun just speeds through everything. But I'm not gonna do that, of course, because I need the points. Like 16,000 already, it's pretty cool. Anyway, a lot of this S-Rank here is points-based, in fact. So you do need a bunch of points, which I found out very, very tough. When I played through the entire level, didn't die. And still only got an A rank because it just wasn't enough. I'm going to show that off at the end, in fact, just to prove. You do actually want to kill a bunch of enemies, even with Rouge. That was, I think, my main issue I had with that S rank, so I can say with confidence, do pick up a few enemies here and there, especially the big ones that give you 1000 points if you do want the S rank. That's one thing that's pretty cool. The other thing that's pretty cool is that despite this being pretty heavily scripted and requiring a bunch of tiny things to do with to pick up the keys and so on, you can still skip a lot because you are playing as Rouge after all. So there is a bunch of free form ways to play this part of the level while it still guides you in a way and requires you to do certain things like pick up all the keys here so that you can go over that laser gate in a way that I find quite compelling, just like level design wise. I feel like a lot of these levels, like especially the original Kingdom Valley Rouge part, was really bad because you just got lost completely. You had this entire playground for you and you had no idea where to even start looking for those 3 specific keys. You didn't really get any good idea of where is a good corner to look for them, which of the hidden parts are secrets for like 1-ups or even just rings, and which are genuinely the ones where you have to work for the ring. Killing all the enemies here and there is just like, okay, do I actually get something from there? By the way, you don't actually have to kill the enemies here, because it takes forever to kill them, and you do kind of want an existing time bonus at the end, as we're going to see as well. Similar to all of the small critters here, just pass by them. Yeah, but I think that generally the very hard biggest upgrade here is dividing the level in distinct segments, where for each of the segments to progress you have to find the keys. So it's much harder to get lost in the level because it guides you kind of naturally to what you have to do. It still requires you to get into the church through the stained glass window, which I feel is a major design mistake on the original, but I mean, this is for people who have played the original, so you will know to do that. So that's okay for a very hard context, I feel like. Here actually I always get a little bit lost because you can actually open 2 doors after the last enemy has faded away. This one here closes behind you unless you're quick, get back, and then you get the 1-up for free and you can just proceed here. Short little trick I noticed over the few times that I tried the level. And again, part of the freeform exploration, it's fun, but restricted enough that you don't get lost. It's pretty cool. Here, of course, you have to kill these guys to get the access to the ring, to the key. I'm having issues with finding words. And I always forget that this extra wave spawns, but it's good because it gives you a bunch of extra points. You can tell 40,000 already. Not bad, not bad, but again, you really do want to pick up a few thousand extra here and there in Rouge's part. It really makes a massive difference in the end because, boy, there's a lot of enemies here. Yeah, the one thing that here is kind of tough guidance-wise is that maybe you overlook the corner with the enemies up there. At first, try to collect this key and then the door doesn't open. It really looks like it should, right? But that's a minor issue in my opinion because, after all, it's very easy to spot the enemies up there. So the guidance, the linear progression of the level isn't perfect, but it's good enough. The most obnoxious part here is of course just hitting the enemies on the wall. I've always hated that because you don't get targeting reticule, but it's fine, I'm used to it. Fun thing that you can do here is also run against the door. As soon as the key fades away, the door doesn't have to open, immediately goes to shadow. That's pretty nice. I also think that this 5-ring ring that was wasn't there in the original, I'm pretty sure. I think they only had 3 rings in progression, and I feel like they specifically put the rings there because they knew there's going to be a bunch more enemies with machine guns here, and you have to get off the hover. So it's good that you have a little bit more leeway against the machine guns. Here, by the way, you do get a lot more points if you don't kill the hover enemies immediately, because they have to first spawn all of their minions in, and only then do you get the 600 extra points. And because this is like 4 groups of them, does add up, and you can snipe them before they summon them, so don't. Just a little tip. Here, of course, always better to just catch yourself in the air with the good old hover trick. Swear the Chaos Spear is completely useless except for that and for fighting Iblis Worms, but as we are going to see, there's barely any in the whole Shadow story. I don't think that there is any, actually, because they're trash, and the designer here has obviously realized that. Little foreshadowing anyway. This part here as well, I know now that I have to get out of here and go ahead. So that's of course quite nice. Pick up those few extra points, never hurts, and we keep going with the level. Here as well, you can choose to not kill these enemies, you don't need them, and I don't need to kill the 2 others to open the door. I opt to go quicker. I do kill the middle one for sure though, because 1000 points. This guy tends to always hit you, a little bit of a surprise. I know it's there though, so that's fine. To the left here, by the way, we're going to see in the aftermath of this video a little bit of a bonus thing. I found an extra area here, quite fun, but not for this S-rank recording, it's not necessary. Here, by the way, I think the enemies just didn't spawn correctly. Like, I saw one and thought, okay, fine, he has already summoned them, but didn't get the bonus points. Maybe it's just a group of that guy and one extra guy, I don't know. Anyway, worked out fine. Again here, holding my fire until it spawns, and then I get an insane amount of extra points. You really want to do that because you're missing out on so much in the end, and your leeway, as I said, just isn't that great. I also forgot this guy, that's fine, just kill him real quick, I said. This could have been really cool, but for some reason the hitbox is so small that you can actually shoot around it. A little bit annoying. I think they're like actually modeling the bullets precisely for some reason, like just give me bigger bullets, it's fine, I won't mind. The enemies might cry bullshit hitboxes, but it's fine for me. You can err on the side of the player, honestly, it's fine. This is always a little bit dicey, I feel like, because the boxes that are bobbing up and down, they are just perfectly meant to catch you off guard. It's really funny. Anyway, that they are trying to screw you with the physics, because if the hover vehicle worked normally and not Sonic 06, it wouldn't be an issue. The box would just, you know, rocket a little bit, not turn it over into instant mega death. Killing these here is obviously pointless, they don't give points. Haha. You need to glitch, teleport through here. Anyway, so the respawning enemies, you can't farm them, just in case you were wondering, but you can look at the coin counter and the points counter, Jesus Christ, and nothing happens. Yeah, coins, rings, keys, all the same thing, right? English, difficult. There you go. And here always, I've managed to screw this up a few times, jumping onto the eagle, not the easiest thing in the world. Hitbox kind of janky, and you can't homing attack to it because of the whole you are still in chaos mode thing doesn't quite work. I mean, maybe with a small tap, but I'm not gonna do that. By the way, here you can jump from eagle to eagle. I tried it here, but I would have had to be a little bit more patient. It's tough to get the timing right. I tried it twice because, you know, I was here another time. Also didn't manage it. I did look it up though in a speedrun video. That's why I did watch a speedrun of this. And it's possible, and it saves you an ass load of time. It is, however, also possible that you shouldn't do it because you lose out on too many points. I don't know. Yeah, because you are then actually you only lose out on this one group. Yeah, you still have to do this. You land on the roof, and then you can directly jump to this tower segment. Yeah, okay. It's not that big of a deal. It does save you a lot of time though. So probably in the end, if you manage to pull it off, it's probably good. Yeah, I didn't. Mea culpa. Just be aware, it's possible. It's a fun thing that they put in. They didn't have to, but it's cool that you can do it. Another part of the freeform thing where you can decide how to play this level in just like minor ways, and I do really enjoy that. I think it's really, really cool. Alright, this part, Omega, nothing much to say about it most of the time. I mean, you just try to efficiently kill the enemies. This time I know where the group spawns. It's always a little bit arbitrary, and as we will see often in the future, it is really weird. Especially the first enemy group for Omega is almost consistently, like we've seen it in like Acropolis already, but also in every other instance almost, the first enemy group to spawn for Omega is like super delayed. I have no idea what the reason for that is, but maybe it's something to do with the janky programming of the game. I don't know, maybe. In some of the instances it helps to let the dialogue lines play out, but often it doesn't have any and still doesn't work, so I don't know. Anyway, I actually using the KSP here to like stun the enemy so that I won't get hit by it. I'm so good sometimes at this game, guys. Yep, really good. Another thing that you can always take advantage of, by the way, I don't think that I emphasize that enough because it's like second nature at this point. It is up to you how long you extend Shadow's flailing in the air, right? So the 5-hit combo, the maximum. When I first played this game, I really hated playing as Shadow because I felt like you had to do this. Like every time that I hit an enemy, I was like mashing the button 5 times. It's like, oh god, it takes forever even though the enemy is already dead. Actually, first of all, you don't have to do that. You can delay the next button press and just jump to the next enemy. It's fine, you're allowed. By the way, I don't know what that ring box here does. I have not yet cared to find out how to get it. And also, this time I know. I also haven't found out what the other teleporters do. I'm sorry, it's like not properly documented, but you can play it for yourself and find it out for yourself. Anyway, what was I? Yeah, so this, the 5-hit combo. As I said, first of all, you don't have to extend it fully. You can stop it like I just did here after 2 hits. And also, however, as long as Shadow is flailing in the air, he is completely invulnerable. And that is key to keeping your rings in most of these segments, because the enemies fire at you as soon as they spawn in and have a little bit of downtime. So what you can do here, in fact, is as you see that rockets are flying towards you, just extend the combo and they won't hit you. And also, while you are flying towards enemies, you're also already invincible. Like the homing attack already starts you invincible. So that is really, really nice. Here, for example, as well, I use this fully to not get hit by the missiles. And this allows me to keep my rings. This is a very, very, very interesting technique to learn. I feel like very valuable, so that you can, in fact, have a huge ring bonus at the end of these stages. Silver misses a mechanic like this completely. He entirely relies on picking up the projectiles, and we all know how well that works. And this is one of the huge reasons for why it is so difficult for Silver to keep his rings and have a ring bonus at the end. And that's also why it is so difficult to get S ranks in his stages, because you're almost entirely relying on points plus time, and that's always a compromise, right? But yeah, for Shadow, not that big of a deal. Here I'm of course a little bit nervous. It has been 14 minutes and I don't know if I need the ring bonus, but on the other hand it's like 87,000 points. That's quite a lot, yeah. And even without the ring bonus would have been fine, but still it doesn't hurt to know how to keep them, right? It's a good buffer. So you could see that there is still a little bit of leeway in either direction. I could have skipped a few more enemies here or there. I could have taken the eagle shortcut, getting a bit of time bonus and so on. Anyway, There's quite a few deaths that I wanted to show you, and as I have mentioned, it is actually quite possible to die here in the early segments. If you screw up killing 1 or 2 enemies, they can rip you apart after you get low on life here for your vehicle, and you will always just simply die, right? That's just the thing that happens. You can't jump to that eager, and yeah, that was a bit, I was like hoping that because the cutscene kind of already started that I could go in there, but nah. And also here I'm like, oh, I'm sinking a little bit more than I thought. Will I make it? Nope. Oops. That was a bit embarrassing, but no, not much lost, I guess. Dying in this segment, however, is always a little bit very frustrating and painful, especially because stuff like this can happen where, you know, physics. There's a bunch of these, though on the other hand, it's like 11 minutes, 13 minutes, probably wouldn't have made it anyway, you know, tough time bonus at this point. I got a lot more efficient. But this happened twice because, you know, I just can't help myself to veer off here for some reason. It's like I'm so afraid of the tower falling to the left that I go to the right, and then almost made it. You can see here that now I'm at 7 minutes, so these are from later rounds, so I'm already much more practiced. The other one was like 6 minutes slower. So here I do notice these springs here. I'm like, should I go for it? Because that's the first time I noticed them. I'm like, yeah, you know what, I need to do it for content. Probably won't die, and maybe there's a bunch of points up here. Spoiler alert, this is not in the final video, so I did die. Yeah, another fly by the seat of my pants thinking, using the hover mode of the Chaos Spear to avoid damage. Really nice. So this is mostly for the 1-up. I think from here you can snipe the tower, yeah, and make your life a little bit safer, same for the other tower. So this might actually be like intended for that, and also what I'm pretty sure that you could do, but I didn't manage because momentum, and then but you can probably just hover over to the higher platform and skip a bunch of the bottom part. And that's also really cool, right? That you can do that. And I'm pretty sure that's intentional. Anyway, and here's the proof. I didn't just get enough score. It's not that much for your score. I skipped a few enemies here and there. And the result is a painful 15-minute A rank. Thank you very much for your attention.